Hello everybody, welcome along. So you can see on the screen what we had yesterday. We were doing our dice game, so we've got our two dice that we could roll and they added together. So we're going to carry on working on that today. And what I thought we could do is maybe try and develop it into a board game. So we're going to do quite a lot. I don't know whether we're going to fit this all into one video or whether we're going to have to break it into two. So I might have to start today and finish tomorrow making the board game. But let's get cracking and try and make a board game. So I've had a bit of a think about how I'm going to do this, but there might be a few things that we have to try and figure out as we go. First thing I know, my dice are too big. I need to fit the board game in as well. So I'm going to make them 10% the size that they are. So they're going to get relatively small, but because they're dice, they're still pretty easy to see. Okay, and I don't know whether we're going to keep our dinosaur announcer or not. He might go. I'm just going to put my dice at the top corner here. So we should still be able to roll them. They should still work exactly as normal. There you go. So they still work as normal. Now, what I thought was we can't really have a background. We're going to have like a board. And I thought, what's the game that we could try and make first? So I thought we'd do Snakes and Ladders. Now, I don't think I'll do 100 squares, although I think it would be possible, but I think it would take a very long time for me to program and show you. But what I can do is show you how you would do it, and then you can decide how many squares you want. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a backdrop, and I'm going to look at the costumes. And I'm going to see, is there anything that I can use? Is there a grid that they've already made that I can use, or do I need to make my own? So patterns. Patterns no good. I don't think there is. Let me just have a quick scroll through. Let's see if there's a grid anywhere. There's that grid, but it's got too many squares for what I want, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16 wide is definitely too big. Can we do anything to cut it down? What about if I select an area? So let's say I want to do like a 4x4 area. Let's pick an area that's got no black lines on it. So 4x4. Try again, I think I missed a bit. Make sure I get the whole area in. 4x4. Okay, so what happens now if I make this bigger? Yeah, this could work. So I can now position this so I've got a nice 4x4 grid. So 4 times 4, end up with 16 squares. Do I want to stretch my squares? Let's have a look. Let's stretch it and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I can afford to stretch that. That probably works okay. Now, what we'll do is we'll leave the decoration and we'll leave the snakes and ladders until later. What I want to concentrate on today is getting it so that when the dice rolls, the counters move that many spaces. So it might be that we use our dinosaur as our player. So let's have a look. Hello, everybody watching. Let's have a look. So I'm going to need to tell the dinosaur where the squares are or where to be when it gets a certain number on the dice. So what this means is I need to know the coordinates of each one of these squares, and I need to link them to a position. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I thought I'd try and do is I'd try and do a list of all the positions. Now I don't know if this is possible. This is the first bit that I'm going to try and find out. So in variables, if I make a list called spaces, right, can I set a coordinate in that spaces? So set, no, I want list, so insert, and then can I insert a coordinate is what I need to know. So I'd need a round, so I can put X position or I can put Y position up. I don't know if I can put them both in. Let's try. No, I can't do them as an and. Okay, so that might not be the way to do it. There probably is a way I could work through that. But I think... I can't drop that in there now. I think the better way to do it might be to use variables rather than a list and just have 16 variables numbered 1 to 16. So let's do 1 to 4, test it out. So I'm going to make a variable called 1, make a variable called 2, 3, and 4. So these are going to be the positions of the first space, the second space, the third space, and the fourth space. So let's set, at the start of the game, we're going to set number 1 to... Oh, now I wonder. Actually, I think maybe not even variables is the best place. Let's see. I think I'm going to run into the same problem where we can't put two numbers into that variable. So we could store the x value and the y value and then use them together, but I just think there's probably an easier way. So the final thing I could do that I can think of is, let me just hide you for a minute. Let's go and get the coordinates for the first 4 squares. Let's get those first. So they are that is the first square. That is the second square. So I'm going to just put them in order down the page so I know. That's the third square. That's the fourth square. Okay, when the game starts, when we click go, you're going to go to that first square. So that's an easy one to do. Now, my dinosaur is going to need a variable for what score he's currently on, so what the dice have given him, plus wherever he was. So he's going to need a variable, so we're going to need to make a new one called position. Okay, so at the start of the game, we're going to set position to 1, because you start off at square number 1. Okay, here's my plan. I'm going to use some forever if loops to constantly check what the score is, and then move the dinosaur to that square if that's the right, if that's their score. So when we click go, forever if position, which is a variable for the position, if position is equal to 1, then we're going to go to space number 1. Okay, and what I'll need to do then is I'll need to put an if in for each of the spaces as we go along. So I've got position 1, 2, 3, and 4, although I've just duplicated those so they've all got the same coordinate in, so I don't need those. I need these. Make sure I put it in the right place. Now, what I need to do is set the dice. Let's get rid of that. I don't want to see that list anymore. You can go away. Right, I'll keep you for a minute. So, start the game, dinosaur goes there. Right, it rolls a 6. I didn't want him to roll a 6, I wanted to roll less than 4, really. That's going to be quite tricky to get. Let's just stop one of these dice working for a minute. Yeah, if I do that, it stops the whole thing working. Okay, let's do all the positions. I'm pretty confident this is going to work. So I'm going to do all the positions. So I'm going to do position 5 next. So I just get another if block. Now, this is going to end up quite a long algorithm, but that's okay. And then we're going to go to wherever he is now. You've just got to be quite methodical in how you do this. Oh no, he's down the bottom. He's gone to the bottom. Ah, I've got my forever if working. Okay. move to there. Okay, there's 5. Right, there we go. Duplicate. Let's do 6. Get his new position. Over here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. We're going to get 7. Get his new position. Oh no, he's gone back to the start because I've clicked go. I've clicked the algorithm. So 7 would be this space here. Okay, and 8 would be this space here. Right. Okay, let's try and test it with 8. I think that might be enough. We'll be able to roll an 8. So now what I want to do is I want to have his position be 1 plus whatever you roll on the dice. So whatever your position currently is plus whatever you roll on the dice. So we're going to get position. So at the moment position is 1. And we're going to add on to it. There's another variable called total, isn't there? That's the total of our 2 dice. Yep, there it is. Right, now what I've got to do is figure out when do I add them and move them. Because I only want to do it once. So let's move this to our dice, because I think that's probably the most logical place to put it. Has it appeared? I don't think it has. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, so when it's added up the totals, then I can get it to set position. No, I don't want to set position. I want it to... Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to set position to position plus total. So your new position is going to be your old position plus the total of the dice. Yeah. Okay. So set. Oh, there's a much easier way of doing this. Much easier. We can just change position by the total. So whatever you roll on your dice, you just change the position number by that many. Yeah, we don't need to add it to the old position. Okay, so let's try this. So up to 8, this should work. Let's give it a go. Okay, I rolled an 8. Is he going to go? No, position's gone to 9 because you start on 1, of course. Right, so 1 plus 8 is 9, so I haven't done the 9th one. So we could start on a 0th space, but I think it makes sense that we start here. So if you moved 8 from here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I haven't done a sorted for. Now we could hide him at the start. So we've got, if he rolled a 1, you could go to space number 1, but I think I'm going to work on it as it is. So rolled an 11. Need a lower one than that, please. Rolled an 8. Lower than 8, please. Oh, I'm just rolling really high numbers. 7. Okay, and he moved 7 spaces. He didn't move them in turn, which is maybe something we could work on next time. But for now, I want to get it so he moves at least the way to all the spaces on the board if we roll that number. So let's carry this on. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8, 9. So yeah, that's number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got another 8 to go. So I'm going to go to the top and duplicate all of these. You could do it one at a time. I'm going to try and save a bit of time by duplicating the first 8 into the second 8. Like so. And now I'm going to be careful with my numberings and changing the coordinates. So this is 9. And 9 is where he is at the moment. So there's 9. In fact, what I might do for a bit of speed is get 10. Oh, just move him and get the position of 10. Move him to the position of 11. Move him, get the position of. Oh, I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Oh, that's a boo boo. I've made a boo-boo. Okay, that's right. We can redo 9. So 9 would be that space there. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, scroll down a bit. Okay, get 15. And 16 will be there. Okay. Right, so now I'm ready to start putting these blocks into my algorithm. So position 9 was there. This is position 10. Get rid of that one. Put this one in. This was position 11. Let's get in there. Position 12. Oh, no, think carefully. So you've got to think very carefully which ones you move in where. 13. It's there. 14. We'll go in there. 15. In here. And the final one is 16. Okay, so it's quite a long algorithm. There are other ways you could do this, but I think for the fact that the snakes and ladders goes up and then back and across, this might be the best way that we can do it to make sure that we always end up in the right square. So let's try our from the start. So I've rolled 4. I went through 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I'm going to roll again, and I go back to the start. There's a problem. So we need to change the way the dice are rolled, because at the moment they go when you click go, and that also resets the position of my dinosaurs. So let's go to the dice and say you've got to click on the dice. Yeah, let's do that. So let's say when this sprite is clicked, you're going to do that, but I'm going to need to send a broadcast to the other dice as well. So we're going to need a new broadcast, new message, which is going to be roll. And so the other dice will start not when the green flag's clicked, but when we receive roll. Okay, so now we only need to restart the game once. So we can restart the game, the dice don't roll. Now if I click on dice number 1, I get 8, okay, and I can click on dice number 1 again, roll a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep, and then I'm going to roll again, and I'm going to go over 15, which presents me with a problem. I'm on 21, and I can see that my dinosaur hasn't moved. So the last if I want to change, I want to say if your position is more than 15, if your position is more than 15, then go to that place. So 15 shouldn't count, but more than 15, so 16 and any number above it should count. And there you go, it's moved to 21. Okay, let's test it again. Oh, right now, so I'm clicking on dice number 2 and it's not working. So what I could actually do is say, when this sprite's clicked, where are we? When this sprite's clicked, we can broadcast roll again. So you can click either of the dice, it will broadcast roll, and then all I've got to do is duplicate that bit of code and get this dice to listen for roll as well. Okay, so let's roll. 4, excellent. Let's go again. Okay, 8, yep, and then finally 4 more, and we end up, even though we've got 17, on the 16 spot. Awesome. Right, next thing I'd like to try and do is get it so it moves, not jumping, but so we can see it go from one space to the next. So let's think about this algorithm here. We've got a go to at the moment, but that it only goes to once the position is equal to that value. So let's have a look at how we are changing the position value. We're changing it here by just changing the position by the total amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say change the position once, but I'm going to repeat it by the total. Now remember, the total is what the number of times. The total is the score you got on your dice. So if you scored 3, it will change the position once, but 3 times. So it'll add up to 3. 1 times 3. Now I'm also going to put a weight in there so that we can see it moving, and it will be able to sort of stop and go, oh yep, it stopped. So I'm going to put a little weight in there. We'll wait until. Wait 1 second. So let's wait half a second because we know how long a second can be. So let's roll the dice and see what happens. So I've scored 2, and you can see it goes 1, 2. Okay, let's roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome, this is really cool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it stops because we've got to the top. Okay, right, so what have we got then? What have we done so far? We have changed our dice so that you can click on either dice and it will roll both dice. We've got a value for each one of these squares, so we know that our dinosaur can go to any one of those squares, but it won't be able to be halfway between the squares, so that's really good. We've got him to move 1 space at a time. The number of moves you're supposed to move, bearing in mind what you've rolled, and we've got it to finish at the end. Okay, so really happy with that. That's gone really well. What's left to do? Well, it's snakes and ladders, and at the moment we haven't got any snakes or ladders, so we're going to need to put some snakes and ladders in it. We haven't really got any decoration either on our board, so we could do with adding some decoration. We could do with an end, so when you get to the end, you could say you win. And I suppose we could look at 2-player as well. We could look at it so that you had like 2 characters on the board, or we could add as many characters as you want. So what I think we'll do, I think we'll leave it here for today. I think that's really, really good progress. There's a lot in there. There's a lot to do. If you've got a different way that you want to move your character, and you think, oh, I think there's a different way to do it that I'd like to try, I'd love to hear about it. But I will be back tomorrow where we will try and make some more progress on the game. And you can follow along by making your own Scratch Online. And if you are, fantastic. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. Thank you for joining the video today. And I hope to see you all again soon. See you later, everybody.